How you doing all tonight? This is a late night healthcare sucks report. For a minute, I want you all to think about not Red Dawn, where the Russians are being dropped in by air, sea, or across the land, but I want you to take a look at this device in front of you. This is a deep, boring, drilling machine used to make tunnels. Most of you know there are tunnels all over the place under the United States, other places. Some are making tunnels under the ocean now, supposedly, from one continent to the other. Now, I'm going to throw something at you. It's come to my attention through some other great YouTubers and my own research that I think a lot of us know the Russians are doing some pretty suspicious, unnerving things. And with that being said, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Mr. Marfugel from Marfugel News was talking tonight with a gentleman called Rip Curl and others about the Russian troops being let into Mexico now. And I can tell you right now, I'm a little older, so looking back at the old school days when there was deep spy infiltration, let's call it, in sleeper cells. We still have those. They still have those. A lot of things that were hit at Marfugel News. You might go over there and check it out. His show tonight. We're about maybe commanders coming across with a child. We're opening up the borders. Anybody can come across now. I mean, if you got a kid, you basically can come in and be let in the United States and infiltrate and disappear. I mean, who knows where the hell you are after a week, if that. No ankle bracelets, no monitoring. Found out from another news source, Shauna Mafugel. She's turning out to be quite a detective in her own. You might check her out under Marfugel, I believe, reports about people coming across the border and they don't even detain them like they used to. They just, within 48 hours to get a shower. Even if a doctor looks at one and can tell they have measles, for instance, or some other serious disease, they cannot hold them or will not hold them. They will release them into the United States. What they are allowed to do, or what I've heard they've done, is they will ask a person, are you ill? Are you sick? And I don't think anybody's going to say they're sick to go into quarantine. It's just not going to happen. This makes it super easy for bad things to come into the United States. There are other things skipping across the border too. So I think you should go check out Marfugel News. He touches on it a little. There's other places. I'll be going into it a little bit more later. But I want you to think about this. Back to the beginning again. Not the Red Dawn, but let's take a scenario. As we know, President T just signed a proclamation about getting prepared for EMP. EMP is where a nuclear bomb is exploded across in the air over the United States and it takes out the power grid, basically. With that being said, let's scenario EMP hits the United States. Now that there's troops right across the Mexican border, they start to infiltrate. Inside the United States, we have commanders and others already in the United States ready to go. From the inside, they start working us over. and the outside, they start working us over. Then out of the ground, see this machine in front of you? These machines start popping out of the ground. And they've been rebooted and refitted for personnel carriers. I call them deep Ps, deep personnel, deep PCs. How about that? Deep personnel carriers. They come out from under the earth. Think of Lord of the Rings, I believe it was part 5, where the orcs come from under the ground. And hordes of them. Well, think about 20 of these machines could hold, I'm just going to guess, at least a minimum 100 personnel, if not up to 300 personnel maybe, or more. Start popping out in strategic locations. You got a full-fledged invasion now. What are you going to do to stop it? I mean, our guys are going to be all over the place. Like I said, EMP just hit. Everything's down. I hope that many of us are prepared, are awake, and have prepared. Because in the end, under that kind of scenario, you're not going to be able to depend on the military, the sheriffs, etc. It's going to take us all as one again. Back in a World War I, World War II scenario, to where we all pull together and we fight as one. Doesn't matter whether you're red, blue, pink, brown, Democrat, Republican, Independent, blah, 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 etc. We are one people under God, under the United States. And it may come to that. So again, think of this scenario. I'm going to send this over to Mr. Marf, and I hope he gets a copy of this and runs with it. He's got my permission totally. But again, think of invasion from under our feet. I was going to put together a lot nicer video and a lot of, little pictures and this and that, but I just am having trouble setting up my YouTube. Eventually I'll get it set up, guys, and we'll be all neat and pretty and lots of pictures and things like that. But for right now, just imagine the scenario I told you and them popping out of the ground in these personnel carriers and just causing havoc. One other last thing I'm going to throw at you is, who's to say that all these loud bangs and explosions and things going on under the ground are not what I'm saying, where these machines under different countries are trying to infiltrate in the United States, and we have our own machines and, and personnel going through our tunnels that we know we already have, and there's not basically a war underneath our feet going on right now. So, something to think about. I know nobody else has come up with this idea that I know of. So yes, I'd like you all to share it. I don't, you want to thank me, thank me. If you don't. You want to say I'm crazy, say I'm crazy. But I'm going to tell you something. What I've just proposed to you, damn sure could turn out to be a fact. Now, this is Healthcare Sucks with a Healthcare Plus reality call. Y'all have a great night and a good morning, and God bless y'all. And just stay prepared and be aware. Don't be frightened. There's a lot of us good people that are getting ready to pull together. And we will survive, as Donna Summer says. Great song. I'd like to sing that to you, but I'm not that great of a singer like Marv. But I will say with this, we will survive. Yeah. And remember, healthcare sucks. Over and out.